Teal Armchair and the Second Adventures. Ms. Eleanor Vance had just turned 72, a number that sounded significant, but deep within her soul, there was still a little girl who loved to explore. Every morning, after a few gentle exercises and a warm cup of chamomile tea, she would settle into her beloved armchair. It was an old, well-loved chair, reupholstered in soft teal fabric, placed right by the window overlooking her small, flower-filled garden. From that chair, Ms. Eleanor watched the world go by. Sparrows chirped as they hopped among the branches, children played on the cobblestone street, and white clouds drifted lazily across the deep blue sky of Denver. But today, something was different. As she gently closed her eyes, leaning back into the soft cushion, a peculiar sensation enveloped her. Not fatigue, but an unusual tranquility, as if the teal armchair was slowly lifting her up. And then, something magical happened. Miss Eleanor opened her eyes and the familiar garden was gone. Instead, she was floating above a vast, purple lavender field, stretching as far as the eye could see. The sweet, gentle fragrance filled the air, bringing an extraordinary sense of peace to her soul. "Hello, ma'am," a soft voice chimed. She turned her head and saw a little girl with golden hair and eyes as blue as the sky, smiling at her. The girl wore a pure white dress and held a bouquet of lavender. "Who are you?" Ms. Eleanor asked, a little surprised. "I am Lavender," the girl replied. "Your chair has magic. It takes people with kind hearts and rich imaginations to the places they dream of." Ms. Eleanor looked down at the teal armchair, still gently supporting her. She had never imagined such an ordinary object could hold such wonder. Lavender led Ms. Eleanor on a stroll through the purple fields. They talked about the flowers, about the gentle breeze, and about the secret dreams hidden in their hearts. Ms. Eleanor felt decades younger, her steps light, her spirit refreshed. Then the teal armchair slowly lifted her again, soaring over rolling green hills and sparkling rivers, reflecting the sunlight. Ms. Eleanor gazed at the world from above, a completely new and breathtaking perspective. Their next stop was an ancient forest, bathed in cool shade. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating shimmering streaks on the lush green carpet of grass. She heard birds chirping merrily, and the gentle gurgle of a stream, a melodious symphony of nature. An old man with hair as white as snow and a long beard reaching his chest was sitting on a rock, reading a book. He looked up when he saw Miss Eleanor, smiling kindly. "Welcome to the Forest of Memories," he said, his voice deep and warm. "I am the keeper of the woods. Your chair has brought you here so you can recall the most beautiful moments of your life." He waved his hand, and vivid images appeared before Miss Eleanor's eyes. She saw her childhood again, days of going to school, afternoons playing hide-and-seek with friends. She saw the day she met Mr. Arthur, her beloved life partner, his radiant smile on their wedding day, and her young children babbling their first words. Memories flooded back, sweet and poignant. Ms. Eleanor felt a wonderful warmth in her heart. The joys, the sorrows, all were precious parts of the journey she had traveled. As the images faded, the keeper of the woods said, "Cherish your memories, Miss Eleanor. They are precious gems, illuminating our path." Then the teal armchair continued its journey. This time, Miss Eleanor flew to a long, white sandy beach, where the waves gently lapped the shore. A fresh, salty air enveloped her. She saw a group of elderly people gathered together, chatting and laughing. An old woman recognized Miss Eleanor and waved her over to join them. "Hello, dear," the woman said, her voice warm and friendly. "We are adventurers of the imagination. Did your chair bring you here too?" Miss Eleanor nodded, smiling. She felt so happy to meet kindred spirits. They watched the glorious sunset over the sea together, sharing funny stories and cherished memories. She realized that old age was not an end to adventures, but merely a beginning for new journeys, new discoveries within one's soul. Time passed quickly. As the moonlight began to illuminate the sea, Miss Eleanor felt a gentle pull. The teal armchair slowly carried her back to her familiar garden. She opened her eyes. Gentle morning sunlight streamed through the window. Birds were still chirping somewhere. Everything was as it had been, yet in Miss Eleanor's heart, there was a profound change. The adventure on the teal armchair was just a dream, or perhaps a special gift for souls still yearning to explore. She wasn't sure, But she knew that from now on, every time she sat in her beloved chair, she would remember the vast purple lavender fields, the deep green forest of memories, and the white sandy beach filled with laughter. And she knew that no matter her age, imagination would always be a wonderful companion, bringing magical adventures right within the cozy confines of her own home. She smiled, a serene and happy smile, then gently sipped her warm chamomile tea. Miss Eleanor Vance's second adventure had just begun. Ms. Eleanor smiled. Her smile wasn't just the serenity of old age, but also reflected the joy of a soul that had just experienced a magical journey. She looked out at the garden, where the morning sun danced on the dew-kissed petals. Everything was as it had been. The sparrows still chirped, the children still laughed loudly on the familiar street. But in her heart, the world had become much larger. The teal armchair was still there, cozy and familiar, like a trusted friend. She gently patted its armrest, feeling as though she was touching the memories that had just passed. Perhaps it was just a beautiful dream, a flight of fancy, or perhaps it was a special gift that life bestows upon those souls who appreciate beauty and constantly yearn to explore. Whatever it was, Ms. Eleanor knew that from now on, every time she sat in her beloved chair, she would not only see her small garden, but also see the vast purple lavender fields, the deep green forest of memories, and the white sandy beach filled with laughter. She took a sip of her warm chamomile tea, feeling the gentle flavor spread through her mouth. Old age isn't the end of adventures, she thought. It's just a new beginning, an opportunity to discover the wonders hidden deep within one's own soul and imagination. Ms. Eleanor gently closed her eyes, a happy smile on her lips. Her second adventure, truly, had just begun, and she knew that no matter where she went or where she stayed, she would always have a wonderful companion named imagination. Thanks for tuning in. We poured our hearts into this story and would love to hear what you thought. Share your comments below. If you enjoyed it, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.